Hello students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Rabeya. Today I am here with some discussion from the class 9 and physics book and from the chapter 1. The name of chapter 1 is Physical Quantities and Their Measurements. And in my previous physics video, I discussed definition of physics, scope of physics, and the first stage from the history of physics in the aspect of scientific view. Today I will discuss rest of the three stages from the history of physics, and these are developing stage of science, introduction to modern physics, and the last one is contemporary physics. Okay, we have noticed three famous scientists here: Copernicus, Galileo, and Newton. Today we will discuss about the contributions of scientists, including these three famous scientists. Okay, let's start our discussion of first topic. Okay, now I will talk about the second stage from the history of physics. And the name of the second stage is developing stage of science. In the 16th and 17th century, a surprising revolution started in the realm of physics. That time was the era of European Renaissance. Here is added some contributions of scientists in the developing stage of science. At first, I will discuss about the conception of solar-centered solar system. We know that in the initial stage, scientist Aristarchus first gave the concept of solar-centered solar system in 310 BC. After that, in developing stage of science, scientist Copernicus gave the explanation of the solar-centric solar system in 1543. But the publisher of this book became afraid of the priest, and he wrote that it is not a real explanation, only a mathematical solution. That's why the theory was not made available to the people for a long time. Okay. After the explanation of Copernicus, scientist Galileo, 1564 to 1642, brought this explanation to the forefront. He introduced the mathematical formulation. After that, he also introduced the scientific process to prove the law during experiments. That is why sometimes Galileo is called the father of modern science. Scientist Galileo was in curse of church to be the founder of solar-centric solar system. He had to pass his last days in captivity. Okay, now I will discuss about the invention of mechanics and the laws of force. In 1687, scientist Newton published three laws of mechanics and the law of gravitational force, which form the basis of force and dynamics. In 1768, Count Rumford showed that heat is a kind of energy and mechanical energy can be converted into heat energy. Before the 18th century, heat was considered a mass, less liquid. In 1778, scientist Coulomb invented the law of force between the charges. And finally, in 1800, scientist Volta invented the electric battery. Now I will talk about the invention of magnets and electricity. In 1801, Young proved the wave nature of light experimentally. In 1820, Worsted showed that magnets can be made by the flow of electricity. In 1830, scientists Faraday and Henry invented the exact opposite process given by Worsted. They showed that electricity can be produced by varying a magnetic field. In 1864, Maxwell expressed the varying electric and magnetic fields with a single law, and that is the famous Maxwell Equation. He also showed that actually light is an electromagnetic wave, and magnets, electricity, both are same. Now I will discuss about the second stage from the history of physics, and that is Introduction to Modern Physics. From the very beginning of 19th century, scientists discovered that many things could not be explained with the help of existing physics. This thought of scientists was the introduction of modern physics. Now I will discuss some contributions of scientists for the introduction to modern physics. At first, we will know about the atomic theory. Scientist Dalton introduced atomic theory in 1803. Thomson invented an electron within the atom. Actually, till that time, nucleus of atom was not invented, and nucleus was known as the center of atom. But it was found that the revolving electron model could not be explained because, according to electromagnetic theory, an electron should radiate its energy and fall into the center of the nucleus. That means fall into the nucleus. But practically it never happens. In 1900, scientist Max Planck invented the quantum theory, and the explanation of the stability of an atom became possible with the help of the quantum theory. In 1911, scientist Rutherford showed that at the center of the atom there is the smallest nucleus, and there are positive charges in it. That means actually nucleus was invented in 1911. Okay, now we will talk about the velocity of the electromagnetic wave, and we know light is an electromagnetic wave. An imaginary medium called ether was considered as the carrier of the electromagnetic wave. In 1887, scientists Michelson and Morley showed that actually there is no ether at all, and the velocity of light is equal in both stationary and moving mediums. In 1905, scientist Einstein gave the explanation of scientist Michelson and Morley theory by inventing the most wonderful equation equal to mc square, which is named the theory of relativity. Einstein's theory of relativity showed the mass of an object can be converted into energy. Now I will talk to you about radiation. In 1895, Röntgen invented X-rays. In 1896, Becquerel showed radioactive radiation is emitted from the center of an atom. In 1899, scientist Marie Curie, with her husband Pierre Curie, invented radium, which is the most radioactive metal on Earth. Professor Satyendra Nath Basu, professor of physics in Dhaka University, gave an appropriate mathematical explanation of the quantum theory. In recognition of his contributions to physics, and one kind of elementary particle was named the boson. During the period of 1900 to 1930, many famous scientists worked together together established the quantum theory. Now I will talk to you about antiparticle. Most kinds of particles. There is an associated antimatter anti-particles with the same mass and opposite charge. In 1931, scientists direct hypothesized the existence of an antiparticle by the combination of quantum theory and the theory of relativity, and it was discovered the following year. Okay, this is the finishing of introduction. This is the finishing of the stage in introduction to modern physics. Now we will discuss the last stage, and that is contemporary physics. I will talk about the last stage from the history of physics, and that is contemporary physics. Contemporary physics is actually about our modern civilization. Due to the invention of electronics and modern technology, it became possible to make. It is possible to make powerful particle accelerators. Accelerating the particle with high energy, new particles are being discovered. Now I will talk to you about the Higgs boson particle, about the invention of Higgs boson particle. With the help of the theoretical standard model of physics, it became possible to arrange the new particles systematically. But using the standard model, it was not possible. It was not possible to explain the mass of the new particles. So to explain the mass of particles, the existence of a new particle called the Higgs boson was predicted. Higgs boson was named after the Professor Satyendra Basu. The identification of the Higgs boson particle in the laboratory in 2013 is treated as a great success of theoretical physics. I will talk about the popular Big Bang theory. In 1924, scientist Hubble showed that all galaxies of the universe are moving away from one another, which indicates that the universe is expanding slowly. Scientists showed that 14 billion years ago, a massive explosion through a massive explosion called Big Bang, this universe was created, and it has continued to expand. Great scientist Stephen Hawking is the father of Big Bang theory. The physicists have shown that they can explain only 4% of visible planets, stars, and galaxies of this universe. So maybe the conception of mysterious dark energy and dark matter can explain rest of the universe. And the scientists are continuing their work in this field. Okay, this is my today's video, and in my next video I will discuss with you about the objectives of physics. And I think after seeing my video, you all will be capable to make your lessons by yourself, inshallah. And we will meet again in my next video, inshallah. And try to make your study properly, regularly. Till then, Khuda Hafiz, and stay safe at your home.